everyone, welcome back to the Mum's Eye View. I am going to show you how to make zesty lemon cupcakes today. So I have just bought all my ingredients and things that I will need from Asda. There'll also be a link in the description box so that you guys can follow along as well. I'm going to go and wash my hands and put up my hair so I'm super hygienic, and I will see you in a second. Okay, so the first thing you will need to do once you have washed your hands is to set your oven to 180 degrees. So I'm going to do that now. Next thing you'll need to do is to line your bun tray with cupcake cases. I've gone for some really cute little green ones with daisies on as it's springtime. Ta-da! First thing that you're going to want to do is to get your self-raising flour and measure out 125 grams, and you want to sieve this into the bowl. I have this awesome contraption here which you squeeze and it sifts the flour. So I'm going to pour it in. It also has a measurement so you can see how much you're putting in, and I can weigh it on the scales because this is the bowl I'm going to use. So I can sieve and weigh at the same time. Genius. The next thing you're going to want to do is to add 1 level teaspoon of baking powder into your sieved flour. And you just want to level that off with your finger so it's nice and even. There we go. You now want to add your sugar, butter and eggs into the mixture. You're going to need 2 eggs, so I'm just going to crack these straight in. It's best to use large eggs when doing this, and free range if you can, because that's nicer for the chickens. Now we need some sugar. The sugar that you need is caster sugar, and you're going to want to use 125 grams of this. So I've set my measuring scales to 0 again, and I'm just going to add 125 grams. And the next thing is the butter. Now you want to make sure your butter is at room temperature so it's a lot more easy to mix. You don't want it to be too melted, and you also really don't want it to be too solid. And you're also going to need 125 grams of the butter. It makes life a lot easier if you cut your butter into smaller squares. Just FYI. Now you want to get your lemon, which is unwaxed, and a grater. This is a tiny baby grater that I have, which I love far too much. And you just want to do the zest of 1 lemon and add that into the mixture that you've already got. Now is the fun part where you get to mix everything up together. It's also very good for your arm muscles. I feel like Delia Smith. Or use a KitchenAid. Okay, so once your mixture is completely done and you've given yourself a really good bicep workout, you want to use a spatula just to make sure you get all the ingredients off the side of the bowl and just mix that in. Now it's time to spoon the mixture into the paper cases. You want to try and make sure you get the same amount in each one. So once you've spooned your mixture into your cupcake cases, it's time to pop them in the oven for around 18 to 20 minutes, or when they start to look a little bit brown on the top and they feel quite bouncy. Whilst your cakes are in the oven, it's a good time to get started on making your icing. So the first thing that you're going to need is 225 grams of icing sugar. The next thing you're going to want to do is to add 6 teaspoons of lemon juice. So I'm going to cut my lemon in half and squeeze it on this squeezer. You then want to mix the lemon juice and the icing sugar together to form a paste. You may find that you want to add a few more teaspoons as you go along just to make sure you get the right consistency. Once your cupcakes are out of the oven, they should look a little bit like this, and then you just want to leave them to cool before you can ice them. Once the cupcakes have cooled down, this is now my favourite part, and it is icing. Now I've got my icing that I made earlier, and I'm just going to scoop it onto each cupcake. I've been quite generous with my icing, so I didn't have enough for this one. So this is gonna be my taster cake. I'll try a bit for you now, shall I? That's a good idea. And obviously the last thing that you might want to do once you've iced your cakes is to use some cute little decorations. I've gone for some very spring-like colours. I've got yellow, I've got white, I've got flowers and butterflies, so I'm just gonna go crazy on the cakes. Okay, so those are the cupcakes done and I am desperate to go and eat one. So I'm gonna wrap up this video now. I hope you found it helpful. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Louise is coming up very soon, so I think you'll thoroughly enjoy it. And thanks so much for watching. Bye! Oh, it just went everywhere. The next thing you're going to want to do is to add 6 teaspoons. Add some ticks, they're really great.
We're just going to dress this as the most important piece, obviously the last piece of dressing the plate, and make it look super pretty. Looking too totally beautiful. Me.
Don't forget to come back next week to check out the veggie roast because I am psyched about that one.
Thank you so much, Ian, for your help.
So while these two stuff their faces, I'm going to say goodbye.